about, use the pre-qualifying questions with buyers and sellers every time on every situation, not, I'm not going to do that because they're my center of influence and they already trust me. Well, so what? You still need to know and understand their situation, right? So don't have different rules for different situations.
That's like the biggest mistake agents make when they become successful, right? They get to the point where it goes, what are the levels of learning? I'm quizzing you. Ready?
You have unconscious incompetence, meaning you don't know what you don't know. Then you become consciously competent. You're aware there's stuff you got to be learning. Conscious competent.
That's the third one.
Incompetent.
Okay, so let's do it again. Unconscious incompetence.
Yes.
That's where you're an idiot and you don't know it.
Right.
Okay. Then there's consciously incompetent, where you're an idiot and now you know it. That's a good place to be, by the way. And then
you have being consciously competent. You still have to work on what you're doing. You have to think about it. You are actually using scripts and presentations. But you're kind of getting it together and getting some good results.
So you're only an idiot occasionally at the third level.
You can still slip into idiocy for
Yes,
sure.
you can still slip.
Especially if you get lazy.
You still have to force yourself to follow your system. You still have to force yourself to basically do the things that are necessary. Your ego is still playing a tug of war with you, saying, oh, you can make things easier. Oh, shortcut it. Oh, let's pop into some Facebook group to see if there's a way that we no longer have to be proactive lead generators. So at the third level, it's very easy. And you can also correlate this to building momentum. But in the third level, that's where the real work is. That's where you're having to work on your skill set and you're starting to do more production. You're starting to feel more successful. And that's also when you can easily fall back into the first level, or you can slide back down of the levels of learning because of the fact that you stopped doing the real work and you didn't ever spend enough time in that third level perfecting your skill set so you can ultimately get to the point where you're unconsciously competent.
That's right. And unconsciously competent is kind of like cruising altitude. And I liken it, when we teach this, I liken it to, Captain Sully, who landed the plane on the Hudson.
Yeah.
He didn't have to go look some stuff up. He didn't hit YouTube to find out how to do it. He had such competence that he saved all those people on that plane. And you remember watching that movie. It was crazy. That's somebody who has unconscious competence. They've done it so many times. They know their stuff so well that they don't have to really think about what they're doing. They just execute.
Right. So the point of it is that where you can get to in real estate faster than you think, as long as you don't deviate from the path, right? As long as you don't allow your ego to tell you to meander. When you get to that unconsciously competent phase, that's where whatever comes out of your mouth is better than virtually all your competitors. Your systems are great. Your pre-listing pack is great. You can proactively lead generate whenever you want to. Your lead follow-up is phenomenal. You're great at negotiating. You have actually become a true professional. You have actually gotten to the point where you are close to winning the game.
But you can't skip the two steps.
You can't. But that's what agents try to do.
Always.
So agents try to fake, and you guys can look on Instagram. Look at most agent postings, right? They're trying to fake the fact that they're still in that, they might be in that second phase, right? So they're going to the first phase, which is unconsciously incompetent, where they don't know anything. Then they go to consciously incompetent. And so what a lot of them try to do, and a lot of you are trying to do, is you skip the real work phase, which is that third phase, really the second and the third phase. That's where you actually have to learn how to be a professional. You have to practice. You have to do what you don't want to do, and you don't want to do it at the highest level 90% of the time when you're at work. You have to make yourself uncomfortable. You have to basically step away from the herd of people that are making those, TikTok videos, all the Mickey Mouse, right? You have to actually become a true professional. And right there, when you push through that, when you actually go to the next level, you're going to be amongst the, 1%, 2%, 3% in the world of people in the world who actually stayed the course and stayed dedicated and didn't allow anything else to distract them. You're going to be truly somebody who's on the road to being special. And if you do that, you're going to win, and not just real estate, not just wealth accumulation, but in all aspects of your life, because your brain has been rewired. No longer will you find shortcuts attractive. Matter of fact,
you don't even need them anymore.
Well,
you
might not
think that you need them.
You might not in real estate, but if you're trying to basically learn how to lose weight, if you're trying to learn how to do other things, you're not going to be attracted to shortcuts anymore. Once you've learned and you've experienced what it's like to do the real work of real estate and get to the point where you're unconsciously competent, you no longer will be able to be seduced by anybody in any aspect of your life trying to sell easy buttons, because you will know once and for all that stuff is all 100% lies. And you have to then realize that your potential in your life is truly what you'd already hoped it would be. But you can't get there unless you actually follow these steps that we're giving you. And I hope that motivates a lot of you. Hopefully, at least it resonates with all of you. Now, the challenge you're all going to have is whether or not you're going to do it, or whether you're going to, get done listening to our podcast and click on another podcast where someone's going to be telling you about social media, how you could do a bunch of posts, how you could do a bunch of stuff, and all of a sudden somehow magically sellers start calling you. Guys, it's a lie. You better realize it. You know intuitively it's a lie, or you wouldn't be listening to this podcast. And by the way, this podcast